Here's a look at the foundation that we're getting ready to pour in a couple of days. This area here on the southeast is the main entryway for all the utilities, or most of the utilities. We've got down here, you can see that basically what you can see here are the gas connections. There's 6 gas lines that are going in there. And you can see underneath that there's 2 more of these sleeves for 6 water lines. Over here is the conduit for 6 units, or for the 6 units, and the electrician bent them to go into and under the building and enter the hallway area under the floor over there, which you can't see. This is strictly a pier and beam foundation. There's going to be no slab on top, and I'm trying to keep from falling in. And you can see the gas lines. We had to use gas pipe here so that we could make this bend properly, and there you can also see another look at the other 2 sleeves for water lines. The water lines are going to be PEX and flexible. And then all this dirt will be dug out after the foundation has been poured. This had to all be done with recess. That you see the top part of the foundation is above ground. It's about 4 3/4 inches thick. And then this recess is so that the flooring can be put no higher than the top of the foundation. I had to figure out how to keep the water out of this area, but keep the floor no higher. Actually, the bottom of the floor is actually under the ground level at the moment. This area here is a well, basically an 8 by 8 by 8 area of gravel to take excess water from the side of the building, like a holding tank, and give it time to go away to drain away. So what I had to do here, because we don't want to dig out that area, so I had them put in very heavy rebar. This is much heavier rebar than is typically required. It's 3/4 of an inch thick, and I had all of these diagonals put in on each end, and there's 6 going across the span of that space there. And let's see if I can get a good angle, but you can see the diagonal rebar. This is very heavy stuff. Now the sewer line is glued together, but I had to place these sleeves in at the proper heights so that the sewer line, if anything ever breaks, we can get back at the sewer line and redo it, instead of having to dig through the foundation. But here too, in this area again, you see this recess formation of the concrete, except at the back. The studs would go directly up against the building without covering any of the door trim, so that can be removed and maintained at a later date. But the back wall of these bathrooms will go directly against the building. But like I say, you see this recess that's around this area. This is the bathroom on the west side, and for this recess, that's the bathroom on the east end. This section, the beam that goes across the back end in the center of the wall, is also lower than the rest of it, because eventually this, like I said, this will be dug out and there'll be bricks all the way across here. And so, I didn't want this beam to show at all, because I didn't think that would look good. And there's no weight on it whatsoever. It's just a structural member to help keep everything from twisting and moving. And so it's below the threshold there, so that we've got plenty of room to to build up later with bricks and whatnot. And this beam here is at full height all the way across, and then it drops down at the end because it's a walkway here, and the beam here will also be a drop down for a walkway into the main area here, which will be dug out a bit, and then later on bricks will be placed in. This is the east end of the plumbing. You can see the water line, which is going to end up having to be moved back a ways. And in this area we're obviously going to have 6 electric meters. There's the main gas line for 6 gas meters and 6 water meters. That was a lot to figure out how to do. But we're set up to pour. It's Saturday, early Saturday morning, and we've got just a few little tweaks Monday, and then we pour Tuesday morning. So there you have it. Alright, the conduit is plumb now to the level, and it took a good little bit of doing. I had to put this box around it and brace all the way to the wall. It was the only thing stable enough to hold it. I've decided that I'm going to leave some of this hole open so that the concrete can flow through around the radiuses there, because otherwise when we undo it, it'll go boing and end up like spaghetti. This stuff is really sprung. So I'm going to give it every chance to stay plumb after this box I've made is removed from it.